There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Oh!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Music. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Eddie Kennison in 1 hour. Fletcher Mackel talking Saints in 15 minutes. The Hoodats are taking off after today's practice out to L.A. Joint practices with the Chargers, and then they'll play Sunday in their first preseason game against the Bolts. So a lot to do here, and glad to have you hanging out with us. When Brian Kelly met with reporters after Monday's practice, he was asked about Juwan Johnson. And this has been a pretty familiar conversation about Juwan Johnson because he has been a very unfamiliar role, been in a very unfamiliar role. A very quick catch-up for those who aren't familiar. So Juwan Johnson went to LCA, Lafayette Christian, great high school program in Louisiana. He left after his 4 years as the all-time leader in Louisiana high school football history in yards and touchdowns. He amassed over 14,000 yards and 171 touchdowns. Let that sink in. Dude scored over 40 touchdowns a year in high school, starting with his freshman year. That's insane. When the ball's in his hands, he knows what to do. Really good athlete. Comes to LSU, he's playing defensive back. John Emery gets hurt after the USC game last week. Trey Holly still suspended. They move him to running back. He's so talented, his first collegiate game ever, they put him in the game against Nichols. He catches 3 passes, including a touchdown. Like, dude is really good with the ball in his hands, knows what to do. Going to this offseason, Ricky Collins, A.J. Swan transfer, Bryce Underwood defects to Michigan. You bring in Michael Van Buren, but you're short on numbers. You got Nuss, Hurley, Van Buren, that's it. So they moved Juwan Johnson back to quarterback in spring. And in spring, and right now, when they go individual, Juwan Johnson's playing quarterback. When you break up by position group, he's with the quarterbacks, doing all the things the quarterbacks are doing. But when they go team period, he ain't playing quarterback. He's in there as a running back. He's in there as a wildcat quarterback. He's in there as a receiver. Like, he's back to being Juwan Johnson. Well, it's fascinating because Brian Kelly was asked Monday, like, what's going on with Juwan and what do you do? Because we heard he's moving to quarterback, but he's out there playing running back. They're giving him handoffs. They're direct snapping it to him, like with the ones, by the way, with the ones. Clearly, they're integrating him into what they're doing offensively, but it's not as a quarterback. So what's going on?
Well, he's given everything we've asked him, probably more. He's a special kid. He'll do anything. We got him working at quarterback right now, wide receiver, running back. I think when it comes to making a decision on Juwan, it's how far do we go this year with him? Because we didn't redshirt him last year. And I want to make sure that his time is valuable and impactful. So whatever happens with Juwan, he's going to play 4 games. Question is whether he plays 5. And that will be dictated as he performs and as the offense kind of works around him.
Okay. It may, you may hear that and go, oh, okay, well, he's going to play against Louisiana Tech and Southeastern and Western Kentucky, like maybe Vanderbilt or something. And if they get in a spot and they got to play him another game, they will and burn the red shirt. And then they'll play in the bowl game because you can. Isn't that what West Weeks did last year? Played and they got hurt. And they're like, I think we're going to be able to red shirt if we can hold out. So Devon Keys played late in the season. And they were able to play West against Oklahoma then in the bowl game. And he kept his red shirt. Now he's back for 5th year. Got it. I don't think that's what Brian Kelly means. Did you hear the end of that soundbite? Can you play the end of that soundbite again, Muse, where he talked about like, that depends on the offense and all that sort of stuff and like how he fits in. Can you play that part of it, please?
And that will be dictated as he performs and as the offense kind of works around him.
As the offense works around him. Let me explain what I think that means. I'll give you a very specific example. If you went out to the spring scrimmage, the spring game, right? They ran a red zone period. And in the red zone period, Nussmeier is in the shotgun. Juwan Johnson's in the backfield with him. Nuss motions out to the left. They direct snap to Juwan Johnson. He scores. I look at that and go, I think Juwan Johnson's going to play in a red zone package against Clemson. And if it's successful, that may be a very common thing. Remember, like I'm going to give you an example. Okay, and then don't get too caught up in what the name I'm about to mention to you. I'm just giving you an example. 2006 Tim Tebow. Chris Leak was the starting quarterback, but Tebow was such a good asset in the red zone that he was in there. I'm not saying Juwan Johnson, they're going to direct snap and he's going to plow through guys and run because he's 240 pounds and a wrecking ball. That's not what I'm saying. But if he's another guy in the red zone who knows what to do with the ball in his hands that defenses have to account for, and he becomes that type of versatile athlete, maybe he becomes that. Maybe not. That's what Brian Kelly's saying. It depends on what he means to our offense in those situations. Like, Tim Tebow in 2006 only carried the ball 79 times. He only threw 32 passes, but he accounted for 11 touchdowns. Like, he was integral in what they did in red zone situations. And let me remind you of one of LSU's most glaring weaknesses a year ago. And we should have known from literally the first possession of the season. Do you remember the first possession of the season? I do. I was there. What did they call it? Allegiant. I was there at Allegiant in Vegas. LSU put together a 13-play drive. They ate up 7 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock, drove 74 yards right up SC's donkey. And they got down to 1st and goal at the 8. Incomplete pass, complete to Kyle Parker down to the 3, and they went for it on 4th and goal from the 3, and Nuss tried to throw to C.J. Daniels, and it was incomplete. Y'all, from the first possession of the season last year, LSU had red zone problems. LSU in 2024 was 74th in America in red zone efficiency. LSU only scored on 83% of their trips to the red zone. You want that number to be 100% with 75% touchdowns, 25% field goals. That's what you want it to be. Like, for example, the leader in the country of the scoring percentage was Old Dominion. They scored on 95% of their drives and 75% were touchdowns. Like, that's what you want it to be. LSU scored on only 83%, and touchdowns, they were at 56% touchdowns, which was 94th in America. When LSU got into the red zone, they stalled. They couldn't get. Think back to the Florida game. Do you remember the slant to C.J. Daniels where he caught it and scored and they called it a legal pick play? I mean, if that touchdown stands, LSU probably wins that Florida game. All that to say, they've got to fix the red zone. One of my big takeaways so far is LSU's going to run the ball. And it may be unconventional. They're going to run the ball because they have to. It may not be a conventional running game with Caden Durham. I think that's going to be a huge part of it. But we're seeing Xavion Thomas line up in the backfield. We're seeing direct snaps to Juwan Johnson. We're seeing Thomas and Aaron Anderson when he's been out there on jet sweeps. Like, they are getting creative with how they're going to run the ball because they have to run the ball. Because they were 104th in America a year ago, and your inability to run the ball, especially in the red zone, cost you over and over again. From the opening drive of the season to that situation I just mentioned against Florida, you got to fix it. You've got to be able to convert in the red zone. And if Juwan Johnson helps you do that, then he becomes too valuable of an asset to sit on the bench. So Brian Kelly said maybe he'll play 4. Maybe those 4 are at Clemson, at Ole Miss, at Alabama, at Oklahoma. Maybe it's those 4 really big road games where you may need that wrinkle that's going to help you win. And he may be it. Maybe not. Maybe they put him on the field against Clemson and he just gets overrun and they never go back to it. Maybe. Or maybe he's the X factor. If nothing else, is a decoy, a gadget, another change of pace option in the red zone that helps them fix these atrocious numbers from a year ago where LSU was 94th in the country in touchdown percentage in the red zone on only 56% of their possessions. You got to fix your red zone issues. And he may be part of the ingredients that fixes that. That's my read on what Brian Kelly was saying right there. So, it would be great. It would be great if you could preserve a year of eligibility for Juwan Johnson. You don't need him because you got 6'7" Trades Green and all these other shiny toys in the red zone and you just run roughshod over people. That would be awesome. Or maybe you need another wrinkle. And if he helps you do that and get to a championship, then it's worth the extra year of eligibility. It's worth giving up that year of eligibility. But you won't know until you get into a game week and see what that looks like. But I will bet my bottom dollar, week 1 when they play Clemson, 8 will be on the field against Clemson. I don't think when Brian Kelly's saying 4 games, he's going, Southeastern and Tech and Western Kentucky and maybe Vandy and we'll see, whatever. No. I think 8's on the field against Clemson in a significant spot. And if he delivers, you get another opportunity and another and another. And then maybe it just becomes something that they have to go to. I'm going to watch that one. That's going to be fascinating. It's going to be a fascinating test case to see what they do with Juwan Johnson this year. All right, it's After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Let's talk some Saints. Fletcher Mackel next.
AFR.
Get Gordon, get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. All the social media handles at Get Gordon. Go to at Get Gordon. I love what Gordon does on social. He's really taken a lot of the opportunity on social to give legal advice, and it's free. So, for example, there's a video up right now about the biggest mistake that he sees clients make right after an accident. Go follow Gordon on social. Like, there's a lot of great content from the G team and things like that, but there's so many other ways you can educate yourself on legal matters for free. Check it out at Get Gordon on all the social media platforms, at Get Gordon, or go to getgordon.com. Getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Time for a sofa upgrade? Visit WashableSofas.com and discover Anabay, where designer style meets budget-friendly prices, with sofas starting at $699. Anabay brings you the ultimate in furniture innovation with a modular design that allows you to rearrange your space effortlessly. Perfect for both small and large spaces, Anabay is the only machine-washable sofa inside and out. Say goodbye to stains and messes with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics that make cleaning easy. Liquid simply slides right off. Designed for custom comfort, our high-resilience foam lets you choose between a sink-in feel or a supportive memory foam blend. Plus, our pet-friendly, stain-resistant fabrics ensure your sofa stays beautiful for years. Don't compromise quality for price. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your living space today with no-risk returns and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get up to 60% off plus free shipping and free returns. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Overall, transition practice going in from the scrimmage right into this. So again, I think it's great for our guys. They have to get used to this. You're a little bit sore still coming out of the Sunday scrimmage, and thought we had some good work. There's a lot of detail to go into it.
Good opportunity in Saints training camp right now to step back and assess as the team hits the road now to LA for some joint practices with the Chargers, and then, of course, the first preseason game. Fletcher Mackel, WDSU, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good, Matt. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Give me an assessment so far to this point in camp. Better than you thought? Worse than you thought? What's the 10,000-foot view?
The 10,000-foot view is that it is amazingly positive. That is a former player with a lot of former players on his staff. Kellen Moore played in the league. Doug Nussmeier played in the league. Scott Tolzien, the quarterback's coach, played in the league. They have other coaches who played in the league. They seem to have the pulse of what the players want. So right now it's a lot of happiness. It's a lot of positivity. I have no idea if that is going to translate into wins or if they're going to be 2-15. But right now they've done some team building exercises, going bowling, going to play paintball, things like that. So it seems like Kellen Moore understands what players want and how the players want training camp to go. Now, again, Sean Payton had gladiator academies at Millsaps, and they were great, and the players hated it. These players love Kellen Moore. We'll see if it translates into success on the field.
My note, Fletcher, was contrast that to 2006.
Yeah, so I was in Millsaps in 2006, and to use the term that I just did, Gladiator Academy would be an understatement. This is before 2011 in the lockout when the Players Association changed how practices were conducted. And in 2006 in Jackson, Mississippi, in what felt hotter than South Louisiana, Sean Payton had 2 practices every day, fully padded for the first 2 weeks, that players that I still stay in touch with talk about is the most grueling thing they've ever been through. And Sean Payton, he took some media members to dinner when he left, and I was able to go. He still says the fact that he didn't have a heat-related, fatality, God forbid, or serious injury that first year in Jackson is still a minor miracle.
So, and that team, of course, went to the NFC Championship game. The question I have is, okay, the players like a lighter camp. I get that. Is it actually going to net a positive result? And Fletcher, positive result doesn't necessarily mean wins on the field. What do you think?
Look, I'll say this. I do think that this staff seems to have a better, grasp, I used that term before, of what the players want. They're threading the needle with understanding they have veterans that are probably on their last leg. DeMario, Cam, Alvin still has tread on the tires, but he's a guy that's in his 30s now at running back. That is not a good thing. And then you've got a lot of young players. So I think they're learning, is this the NFL? Is this how I do it? And so he's done a good job, I think, of indoctrinating the young guys and making the veterans buy in to what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. He's vanilla. Kellen Moore is vanilla. He's a wonderfully nice guy. I think he is himself, though. He doesn't have a lot of sizzle. He's not some big storyteller. He's not some cursor, yeller, screamer that is, whoa. He's not Dan Campbell. but he is himself. And I talked with Zach Wood today for a long time, who's the longtime special teams captain, the long snapper. And he goes, look, to stand in front of a room of a bunch of alphas and be able to keep the attention, you have to be yourself because people will see through inauthentic process. And he goes, Kellen, he's not a yeller and a screamer. He's not a rah-rah guy, but neither is Kyle Shanahan. You know, there's other coaches in this league that have excelled without that. So I do think Kellen Moore is being true to himself, and it's resonating right now with the players. And look, you talked about what is success. To me, success this year may not be the playoffs, but you better have, as the Saints are in a reset, so to say, they better have some foundation pillars coming out of this season. Those two tackles, Banks and Fuaga, better be legit guys for the next 5 to 10 years. Kool-Aid McKinstry better be cornerback one after this year. You need to have potentially Tyler Shuck as your quarterback, you know, going forward, not saying, boy, we went 2-15 and we got to restart now with Garrett Nussmeier or whoever the quarterback in the draft is going to be. I think 5, 6, 7 wins and some solid foundation pillars that you know can be part of a big step forward in 26 or 27. That's success for this team.
He's on Twitter at Fletcher WDSU. Give him a follow. Is there a player or position group that appears to be better right now than you thought when they opened camp?
So I think the secondary is better. Look, last year the two starting cornerbacks were Marshawn Lattimore, Paulson Adebo. Paulson Adebo left in free agency. Marshawn traded.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Tyron retired, who was one of their starting safeties. So you've got Justin Reed. He's been really great in the locker room. I think he's in the prime of his career. He's been great for this organization overall, and he's still a really good player. Kool-Aid McKinstry, and I'm sure you've had other people on that have echoed the same thing. Since off-season started, this is a guy that had a first-round grade last year coming out of Alabama. He goes early in the second round. He comes in with the foot injury. He's a backup. He never found his footing. The season goes sideways. He's a guy that looks like he could have a big leap this year. And then, you know, Quincy Riley is a fourth-round draft pick. He's had some nice moments. Alontae Taylor looks like a slot guy that they're going to play all over. It's just practice. Somebody's got to make plays in practice. But the secondary has made some plays. So I think what was a big question mark, at least it looks like in practice it's been answered. Now, when they start playing, you know, Josh Allen in a Kyle Shanahan offense in week 2, they're certainly going to be tested. But the secondary has impressed me a little bit more than I thought they were going to.
All right, flip it around. Position group that you thought might be further along than they are right now.
Yeah, I would probably say the quarterbacks, to be honest with you. I thought one of these guys would have distanced themselves just a little bit. And don't believe everything you read on social media. Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck are a hell of a lot closer than the stands for either of them, you know, on social media want you to believe. Look, there was a big group out there that thought Jameis is the man. He's going to have an awesome season. And I love Jameis as a person, but all this hyperbole on social media was a bunch of BS. I've been to these practices. I like Spencer Rattler. I like Tyler Shuck. Spencer Rattler is not winning this competition, running away with it. So if anybody tells you that, that's not the case. I'm not saying he hasn't had more consistent production than Tyler Shuck, but they are not that far apart. And just remember, Tyler Shuck is the guy that Kellen Moore drafted. So if it's close, tie goes to me to Tyler Shuck. And I also think whichever young quarterback they pick, they've got to give runway to. So to me, whichever guy it is, don't think it's going to be, oh, they start week 1 and maybe they don't start week 2. Or they start the first month of the season and it's difficult and then we get a different look. I think whichever young quarterback that they start, be it Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck, because I think Hayner's out of the race at this point, I think they're going to get to the bye in week 11. And they're going to give them a ton of opportunity. Look, Bo Nix was terrible his first 2 games last year. His first month, he was quite unspectacular, and then it clicked for him. So even Jaden Daniels didn't come out the gate, you know, like the way he finished last season. So I think whichever young quarterback they go with, they're going to get runway. But I thought at this point in training camp, one of those guys may have pulled ahead of the other one, and they are still while Rattler is probably a little ahead of Tyler Shuck, neither one has distanced themselves. So maybe this Sunday in the preseason game, one of them pulls ahead and we know which one will be the starter.
You looking for anything in particular with these joint practices ahead of the preseason game Sunday?
Well, there is no joint practice. That's the crazy thing.
Oh, they're just practicing in L.A.
Right. They're
Okay.
just going out there. So I like joint practices. That's the one thing I'm disappointed at since you used that term. I remember going out there and covering the joint practices when it was the Chargers in the St. Philip Rivers Drew Brees. That's where I think teams get a ton of great work, even more than the preseason games. The joint practices, look, a few years ago when the Saints went to Green Bay against the Packers, that was great work to practice against another team where you can script some things, where you can go unscripted. Joint practices, to me, are far more important sometimes than preseason games. So I wish the Saints were having joint practices, but I really feel like for the first time in a long time, the preseason games, especially the first couple, are going to be like inflection points and real critical junctures for a lot of these guys. Look, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is one of those guys. We know it's Alvin Kamara, but there's 5 or 6 guys behind him, and it's a jump ball for who's going to be running back 2, 3, and 4. There's, defensive line rotation that they have to figure out. There's a linebacker rotation after Werner and DeMario that they have to figure out. And then, of course, the quarterback. It's going to be some intense competition, at least from the Saints, in the preseason.
He is Fletcher Mackel, WDSU. Get him on Twitter at Fletcher WDSU. You heading out to L.A.?
Sharif is going. So Sharif Ishak, my coworker here at WDSU, who you know very well, is going out there. And funny story here, Matt. I know I'm sorry if you're trying to wrap me up
no,
here.
You're good.
Sharif is like the greatest worker ever. And we've been together now. I've been here 23 years. He's been here 12 years. So we've been together for 12 years. Sharif is so quirky. He's like, I hate going to New York. It's like, that's cool. I'll go cover the Heisman. And when the Pelicans draft Zion, and he's like, I hate going to L.A. in the traffic. He loves like Omaha and Tampa and Charlotte. And I'm like, dude, you take it. You go to those places. And then last year, I was in Paris, luckily covering the Olympics. So he went out there, and then he's like, Southern California isn't that bad. The 405 isn't as bad. So now he loves Southern California. So now it's Southern California Sharif year 2.
I love it. So good. Sharif's just the worst. You should fire him immediately. Fletcher Mackel, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
Be well. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Counting down. Drew is back at school a week from today. Whenever your kiddos start, I know it's right around the bend. Make sure if you haven't done it yet, get that eye exam. We should all have our annual eye exam, especially your kiddos. None of us are exempt, but when your kiddos are starting school, man, make sure you bring your children to get their annual eye exam before they start the school year. You want to be able to see the board and see the flat screens. I don't even know what they use in school anymore, but you want to be able to make sure that they see and they get that annual eye exam. So if they need contacts, glasses, and updated prescription, you want to get that taken care of. Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEye.com, WilliamsonEye.com. 8 locations in Greater Baton Rouge, including down the River Parish in Fletcher. Newest locations up in St. Francisville. So if you're there in St. Francisville, you don't have to travel. That's right. You don't have to come to the Zachary location. They're there. They're in Denham as well. A couple locations in Baton Rouge, Connells, and on Bluebonnet. It's the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Appreciate Fletcher for joining us. When we kind of get through this week and back into toward the end of the week a little further, I do want to give you some of what I'm going to be looking for in the Saints preseason game. Because I am a preseason game junkie. Like I am a training camp junkie. I really wish that I had the opportunity to be in New Orleans for all the camp practices, but I'm here in Baton Rouge and covering LSU camp. But when you look at it's like I say it always this way. I know not everybody's super interested in roster spot 49 to 53. I get it. Everybody wants to know who's going to be the starting quarterback or the 2 starting tackles you drafted. Are they going to play well? I mean, I get it. But you go into a game week and every player that is active plays on Sunday. And inevitably somebody turns an ankle or, get sick or has to come out for a play. They get their bell rung, whatever the case may be. And so everybody who's dressed on a Sunday matters. And it's like we talk about Will Clapp, why he's so integral, man, because he can play either guard spot or center. I mean, think about last year against the Eagles when Eric McCoy went down on the first drive of the game. Lucas Patrick, who's your starting left guard, had to slide over and play center the rest of the game. And it didn't go well, but like you have to be able to do that. That's why all those roster spots matter. So, Nick Saldivary's on IR. His season's over. So who's going to win those roster spots on the offensive line? Obviously, it's spots, in the defensive backfield, on the D-line, are all super integral. And this is where the coaching staff, you can look at practice, but you can validate or invalidate a lot of your feelings that you see at practice with what you see in a preseason game. So I'm looking forward to it, seeing the Saints get out there on Sunday against the Chargers out in L.A. All right, it's After Further Review Tuesday shows powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Brian Kelly met with reporters after the first full padded practice on Tuesday. We'll let you hear some more what BK had to say when we come back on AFR.
After Further Review.
If you're going to sell your house, you want someone who knows what they're doing. Doesn't that make sense? You don't just want to sign in the yard. You don't want to just sit there and hope that it sells. You want to have a real game plan, someone who understands marketing, negotiation, how to get your home sold fast and for top dollar. That is why you want Darren James. Darren has been crushing it in real estate for decades now at this point, and he's still on top. Told you recently the Wall Street Journal's top 1,000 realtors in America. He's been on that list every year since 2015. A decade straight, Darren James has been on the list of the top 1% of realtors in America. The bottom line, Darren James gets results. So call him today. It costs nothing to talk, y'all. And it could make you a ton of money on your home. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666 for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabay sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabay has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
We ride back and forth till we run out of life.
Getting a chance to get out there for an hour and a half, handle the elements, learn from it for practice 6, that's exactly what I was looking for. So, again, as you talk about putting your football team together and developing your team, these are the kind of moments that, looking at it from a micro perspective, these are the days I need to develop the things that we need from our football team. So good day out there today from that perspective. Our guys are doing a great job taking care of themselves, injury-free. So all positives moving into tomorrow's 2-hour practice.
Brian Kelly after practice on Tuesday, first full padded practice for the Tigers. There were a couple of full padded, full contact tackling scrimmage 11-on-11 sessions. If you missed it, we opened the show with that today, so you can catch that on demand if you want to check that full review. Went through the entire play-by-play of that, be on demand podcast or on YouTube. Just search AFR LSU. I wanted to kind of go through the rest of my notes from Tuesday. When we first went out there, we saw some hurry up, no huddle. Just a few of the things that were Solomon Thomas has been out there with a boot. Remember, he's got a broken bone in his foot. He's going to be out a month. Brian Kelly told us he was there in a boot riding the bike. No Aaron Anderson. Still no Aaron Anderson. Kelly told us earlier in the week the hope was to get Aaron Anderson back for Wednesday's practice. No media availability at Wednesday's practice. Then they have a day off Thursday, so Friday will be the next time we're out there. We'll be able to tell you. But deep touchdown to Destin Hill from Garrett Nussmeier. Also, a deep touchdown to Trey Green, back right corner of the end zone. Michael Van Buren missed Berrien Brown on a deep ball. That just continues to be the thing with the backup quarterbacks is just the inaccuracy has been jarring. And they're young players. I understand that. Obviously both are just second-year players. And when Jaden Daniels showed up at LSU, remember that was the knock on Jaden Daniels coming from Arizona State was the accuracy or the inaccuracy. And very clearly Joe Sloan worked that out of him, which is awesome. I mean, Jaden Daniels became one of the most accurate passers that we've ever seen. But that has been recurring at this point. Has been Van Buren and Hurley, the inaccuracy at times. Matter of fact, after practice, Kelly did talk about the two backups, Van Buren and Hurley.
I think it's the details. They're talented players. Both of them can play in the SEC, but talent is just one thing, right? You've got to be able to not have those moments where the ball's on the ground or, you throw a pick six. I just want them to eliminate the big mistakes. Let them be athletes. Let them be who they are. They're not the same quarterback. They have different kind of traits, but what can you do? Again, I come back to this model of consistency is about, can you stay laser focused every single snap throughout the entire practice? And so that's really what I'm trying to get out of both those guys. And they've had their moments. We need to get it to a point where it's much more consistent.
The laser focus through every single rep is something you alluded to earlier, and there were a couple of points in this practice where that kind of showed its head. Donovan Green, the Texas A&M transfer, while they were running some individual drills, he ran a really nice out route about 15 yards, and Nuss put it right on him. He dropped it. Joe Sloan yelled across the field, lack of urgency is a bleeping killer. And he just lost his concentration. On that same drill, Teron Francis dropped the deep ball, hit him in the hand, just bobbled it, dropped it. I mean, that's what Brian Kelly's talking about with the young players, the lack of laser focus on every single rep. And some of that is just progress. I mean, I don't expect those guys to play a major role on this team. They did the wide receiver defensive back drill. It's a one-on-one drill. They also did that same drill in a 3-on-3 setting, 3 receivers, 3 defensive backs. A couple of the notes from the wide receiver defensive back drill, maybe the most important thing that I've seen when they run that drill is they are picking up DJ Pickett and just throwing him into the deep end of the pool. Like, there is no zero entry and gradually wade your way into this thing. They're just like, here you go, kid, figure it out. Because every time they run this drill, he's going against Chris Hilton. And y'all, Chris Hilton is a really good football player. I'm stating the obvious and oversimplifying it. But I told you last year Chris Hilton was the best receiver in fall camp. And we talked about him all season, and people asked a lot, why do you keep talking about Chris Hilton? And then he got back for those final 3 games, and he scored in each of those 3 games, and you go, okay, I get why you're talking about Chris Hilton. Because he's that good when he's healthy. And they are making DJ Pickett's not running against Teron Francis. He's not running against Kylan Billiot, Jelani Watkins. DJ Pickett isn't running out there against the young dudes. DJ Pickett is running every rep of that drill against Chris Hilton. And I haven't seen him win one yet. Not to say he hasn't won one, but it's pitch and catch with Nuss and Hilton. And that's not to say Pickett's doing badly. It's just to say Chris Hilton is awesome. And they know they are going to need DJ Pickett. And so it's like, brother, you are going to see one of him. Like, every SEC team has one of him. Everybody has a best guy. And that's what you're going to go against for the next 3 years at LSU and then in the NFL. So get used to it. And they had 2 reps against each other today, and Chris Hilton won them both. So it'll be interesting to continue to watch Pickett's progress there. Trey'Dez Green had a beautiful double move against Jordan Gilbert. Double move, created about 5 yards of separation, turned up and scored. Kyle Parker had a beautiful grab, a toe tap on Mansour Delane on the sideline. Let's see, Jelani Watkins. The officials were at practice. He caught a ball through pass interference. They flagged Deshaun Spears with PI, and Jelani Watkins still made the play. Berrien Brown made a beautiful play on a quick slant against Jakeem Jackson. Nick Anderson had a big win against Michael Turner. Let's see. I'm looking at my other notes here. Might be all as far as the significance from that. Oh, there was Bauer Sharp made a one-handed catch against A.J. Halsey. Halsey and Tamarcus Cooley continue to be just really impressive at the safety spot. And everything is rotating pretty fluidly when they go 7-on-7 or 11-on-11 with who's with the ones and the twos. But I will maintain this, that I'll be fall over stunned if A.J. Halsey isn't starting whenever they play Clemson. It's pretty clear he's just playing at a different level of physicality in the run game, his nose for the football in the pass game. He had a really nice he had an interception today in A.J. Halsey had an interception today in when they were doing a half lines drill. So he's been outstanding. A.J. Halsey has. And as a matter of fact, Kelly was asked what they were looking for when they added Cooley and Halsey. Cooley was here in the spring. Remember, they added him in the December portal window, but they didn't add A.J. Halsey until the spring portal window. So after spring ball. So this is like the 6th practice A.J. Halsey has ever had at LSU, and he already is standing out.
Game experience and football knowledge. Those are the two things, and we didn't move off of those, and everybody that we evaluated, it was if they don't have those two criteria, we can't even begin this process. So they have to have snaps, real live snaps, and they have to be smart football players. We're not going to go in here and teach you the nuances of the game. We're past that. And they both have those qualities, and they have athletic ability. So what are we getting? Smart, savvy, physical players that have played a lot of college football.
A.J. Halsey, when Brian Kelly talked about experience, the first word he said, just play like the first word again, what they were looking for.
Game experience.
Game experience. A.J. Halsey has played in 36 games with 33 starts. That's game experience. It's very obvious. You go, oh, yeah, 13 knows what he's doing. He's been out here for 6 days and is already better than everybody out there. One other interesting thing, we did get to watch them during a special teams portion. They were running punt block. The 3 rushers on punt block were Jaden Breaker, A.J. Halsey, and Tradez Green. They had Tradez lined up as the left end. And it makes sense, right? Like, hey, man, quick first step, get around the end and just extend. And you're kind of already at the football. That was pretty cool to see. I don't know if we'll see it in the game, but that was interesting to see in any event. I did watch the one-on-one pass rush drills again, and I'll reiterate, the offensive line wins plenty of these. Tyree Adams won both of his reps against Jack Pyburn, and Pyburn is awesome. When they went 11-on-11, Pyburn had a TFL and a sack. DJ Chester held off a bull rush on one rep against Ahmad Bro, then Bro beat him on the next rep. Braylon Moore against Don McKinley, they split a pair of reps. Josh Thompson lost a pair of reps to against Bernard Gooden, who, it's God bless. Josh Thompson is a good player. Like, he is a good player. And he wins plenty. He just can't beat Bernard Gooden. It's just one of those things where it's like, that's just a bad matchup for him. And Bernard Gooden's going to be a bad matchup for a lot of guys. Bernard Gooden came up with a 2-yard TFL in the 11-on-11 period. He's a menace. And Josh Thompson's had trouble. Thompson's a very good player. He just had trouble with Bernard Gooden. Weston Davis split his reps with against Patrick Payton. So, man, they got good talent on offense. They just got to figure out how to get the 5 to play as 1. Nuss had a beautiful ball on the sideline to Bauer Sharp, who beat Ashton Stamps in 7-on-7. Nice pass breakup by West Weeks guarding Tradez Green. Nice pass breakup by Stamps on Berrien Brown. So there was a lot to like, y'all. I mean, there was so much to like. One other thing, Harlem Berry. And I don't know that we should read too much into this, and I did ask Brian Kelly about it after practice. Harlem Berry was the second running back up. So when they rotated with the ones, Durham was first, Harlem Berry was second. And so then Caleb Jackson and JT Lindsay went with the 2s. It's the first time we've seen that. I did ask Brian Kelly about Harlem Berry after practice.
We all know his traits, right? Very smooth. He's got elite speed, catches the ball well. But there's a transition from high school to college. The tackling is different. The physicality is a little bit different. So Caleb is a difficult guy. He ran through a couple of outside zone plays today where the first tackler, he just kind of shedded. Harlem is getting used to that. So this is just a process for him and for us. We really like him. We think he's going to have to play for us this year. There's a bit of a transition there in terms of learning the physicality that comes with playing here.
Yeah, so I don't think Barry going second is any indication of Caleb Jackson. I think they're just trying to get him up to speed in some of those valuable reps. So Tigers' 6th practice of fall camp in the books. They will practice on Wednesday, day 7. No media availability. Then they're off Thursday. They'll be back out there Friday for day 8 with media availability, and they scrimmage on Saturday, day 9. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll wrap up hour number 2 next.
After Further Review.
Action Industries is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Action, INC.com. If you need an industrial contractor, Action Industries is who you need to call. It is turnaround season, y'all, and Action Industries has the Advanced Turnaround Group. That's a subsidiary of Action Industries. So same great company. It's just their turnaround division. Action Industries, the Advanced Turnaround Group. And they offer so many things like 24-hour assistance, specialty welding. And their experts have an exemplary safety record. They do quality work, which is why they get hired over and over and over again. So you're going to have a great result. It's Action Industries. Again, the website is Action, INC.com, is an Action Industries Incorporated. Action, INC.com. It's for the Advanced Turnaround Group. You want to see a list of all the services they offer? Go to the website there for Action Industries. Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Action Industries, innovation in action.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at washablesofas.com. Starting at just $699, our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out, so you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics, they're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit washablesofas.com today and save. That's washablesofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Eddie Kennison coming up in about 10 minutes from right now. We'll talk to the former Tiger receiver great about this receiver group and the LSU offense. Getting set to put a show off from the dock here in 2025 behind Garrett Nussmeier, Joe Sloan, and the lot. Right now, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Man, we have been waiting for this one.
Let's go.
For a long time here on AFR. Cam Sanders, right-handed pitchers, getting the call up to the major leagues. The Pittsburgh Pirates are the team that made it happen. Of course, Sanders drafted by the Cubs in the 2018 draft in the 12th round. This ends about a 7-year journey through minor league baseball. Signed with the Pirates this offseason across 2 levels, AA and AAA, 33 games, 4-1, 1.91 ERA, 11 saves. Next stop, the big leagues for Cam Sanders.
I talked to Scott earlier today. We texted. Cam is active tonight. First pitch is at 5:40 Central. They're hosting the Giants tonight in Pittsburgh, and he's active out of the bullpen. So Cam Sanders could make his debut tonight.
Let's hope that happens, man. I saw that today, and I was like, let's go. Like, hell yeah, man. Finally. He had plenty of worthy years, that's for sure.
No doubt.
Another transaction, Ethan Fry now has his assignment. He will start in the low A for the Astros with the Fayetteville Woodpeckers. And Mason Taylor right now is sidelined with a high ankle sprain, so he will not be playing in the Jets' first preseason game. this weekend. Alex Bregman went 2 for 3 last night. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. Do you think if the Woodpeckers win a championship, maybe Lee Michaels can furnish the rings for them?
Of course they can. I think so, yeah.
Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. It's rare you go to a charity, a function, or event without seeing that red box. They're so charitable, have been for 4 decades. Thrilling Louisianians trying to get engaged or just need that great gift. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. Okay, all Sports Center's coming up. Hour number 2 is next.
AFR.
Man, it was great to have both EJ and Ryan in studio with us yesterday from Our Lady of the Lake to explain more about the arena naming process and why Our Lady of the Lake has invested so much in their partnership with LSU, combining those two amazing brands. But, the thing that we tell you oftentimes is when it comes to healthcare, primarily people want 2 things. They want access and they want convenience. And Our Lady of the Lake, part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, certainly provides that. If it's the main campus there on Essen, if it's the Our Lady of the Lake Standalone Children's Hospital, if it's the many different clinics and all the specialized services that they offer from cancer, heart, stroke, mentioned pediatrics, it's Our Lady of the Lake, caring for LSU athletes, LSU students alike, and everyday champions like you and me. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Learn more online. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply. There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.